Blast off.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Also Triumvirate Day. I think Catch has confirmed that we're going to go live
He
tonight
did. He did,
as
in fact.
well. So good stuff. You'll have a twofer
Yeah.
twice a day for us. Yes. And
I'll.
go ahead.
I'll have something really neat to show everyone to you guys and everyone in the Triumvirate show tonight. My latest theories on doing fractals of fractals, Fibonacci's retracements of Fibonacci retracements, subdividing them. It's pretty cool. I mean, people. I looked it up. Ask Rock. There've actually been lots and lots of people who've done work in this area already, but I just hadn't read it yet, and so I'm sort of rediscovering what they're walking the same paths that they'd walked.
Yes. And I guess there was some good pre-market news at 8:30 just now. I don't know what it was, but it was probably something good because
I'm sure Rumble Billy will tell us.
yeah, Rumble Billy, tell us what kind of economic data was because I know some people care out
Oh,
there.
it says
But
there's a CPI report, Consumer
yeah,
Price Index.
so it launched XRP back up to 319. That's good, and yeah, Bitcoin back up to 119. So let's just dive in here, and we can see
Wait, the
that
CPI could be bad, and that would make crypto go up.
because bad news is good news, and good news is good news.
Yeah,
Yes,
well,
I agree.
sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so SPY, I'm watching this line right here that says 633.50. I just care about staying above that. If so, we're not going to really have a big retrace at all and can continue to the resistance above. So 633, 648, that's the range I'm watching. Whichever one breaks first is likely the direction it's going to go. And QQQ, it's going up to the big major resistance zone, 578.46. Is it going to break free? It fell a little bit short here on July 31st, so I'm not sure if it's ready to break out, so we'll find out. But otherwise, it's still range bound. IWM, we can see that it's still maintaining this 702, and we're getting a big gap up this morning right now at $3 and change, right? So far, let's see if that can maintain throughout the rest of the pre-market into the open. But it doesn't really change the fact that I still want weekly candles, daily candles, every kind of candles to close above this 226.80. That's going to be the signal for me that things are going to get a lot more explosive, exciting to continue the journey higher. So, going to watch that the most. So until then, it's just range bound between the 219, 226. And yeah, we can go check out Bitcoin. Is this gonna have a good development? Well, it's not a higher high from a couple of weeks ago back in July, and it's still just building a base on top of the arc. So there's really no change, no development either way. And also, if you just kind of drew a line across right here, you can kind of see that the bodies of these candles are all the same, and just the wicks are above it. So until we can start closing bodies of the candles maybe above like this 120 zone for weekly candles, it's still in the same range, which means there's still a lot of resistance. There's a lot of sellers in that zone. That's why there's a lot of wicks. So we'll see if it can break above. And lastly, let's just check out Tesla pre-market. And what do we know? The arc is coming up. We can zoom in a lot just to take a look at this little dotted line there, and it's getting close pre-market to the arc above. That is right around 348, 349. That's going to be the level to break. And also the cloud is up there too. So I'm not convinced yet that it does want to flip everything to a support. It's got to prove it does because I'm not, I don't know, right? It might just be rejected there. Maybe it wants to stabilize in the cloud for a few more weeks until it wants to be set free of the cloud again and go higher. But no matter what, it's a very bullish development, and we're getting closer and closer to this linear scale Fib 2, which is the 786, the 347.58. And I want to start to see weekly candles at least try to close above that. That'll be the first step to breaking this GAN arc here. Once it flips that arc to support, then it's probably off to the 400s again very easily because there's not much resistance above after that. So, and also, I do think one last thing here, the Fib retracements of the 886, that's going to be when things can finally maybe go Palantiring for real, right? Getting back above that 353.19, stabilize on top of that, then we can see really good things happen. So yeah, Tesla, lots of people were bearish at support down here, and now they're super bullish at resistance. So should be the opposite until there's proof that it can break. All right, with that, Trekker, back to you.
Sure, thanks. The CPI report did come in at 8:30 at the blah blah blah. I call it from it comes from the Bureau of Lying Statistics because they just make shit up to support whatever narrative the powers that be want, I think, in the markets. But let's see. Data came in slightly cooler than expected on the headline figure, but showed some stickiness in core inflation, leading to a mixed market reaction. Investors interpreted it as supportive of potential Federal Reserve rate cuts later this year, with stock futures rising modestly after its release. And here you can see here my Tesla chart. This is, let's see how much of this I can make full screen. So this is basically, here's the dinosaur. So this is the beginning of history for Tesla. This is a log scale chart, log scale. So you can see that, Tesla already has gone up 33,000% since its inception in price, adjusted with all the splits and stuff. And so basically I did something, I'll go into this more in detail tonight, but basically I just want to say I came up with the 0 to 1, 427 is the top. And then the next thing I really wanted to look at was the next price range that we're really just getting into is between the largest degree 886 and the 1618. And then I subdivided that further from the 886, the largest degree 886, that's 214.25. Get this out of the way. And then to this larger degree 1168. Now, the 1168, it's like the 1618, but you just add another 1 in front of it, and it makes it a fractal smaller, the 1168. Anyway, so yeah, I pulled these fibs here between 214 and then $1,183. And then when we get into the nitty gritty of it, price action so far, it basically went up to the 50% range of that. Halfway was 503.45. It couldn't quite touch it. Runs back down to the bottom of the range, which is that's the 8. Oh, I should point out that I made the 886 to be this price right here. So that's not by accident. That's by design. All right. So then after going 50% back to the bottom, it comes up just over the 2929, and then I need to subdivide this again to get these, but I did sort of subdivide this. I went from the 1111 of this to the halfway point, and then I'm looking at this price action here. And so now I'm looking at this, and so we ran up to just over the 50% halfway point. The 1111 holds it as support right here, and now we've just been stuck between this halfway point, and we just keep getting higher lows. And I think once price gets over this 382, which you can kind of see it's done now, this 333.89, we've got sort of a candlestick close over it. So this looks bullish for me from here. I did this sort of little thing here where I said, oh, it looks like it could kind of do. Oh no, did I just lose my internet? One of my devices lost internet.
No, you're fine. I can hear you.
Let's see. So, yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to come up to check out this 2929, 353. I've got some other fibs that I based this off of. Maybe I'll have to change these little hammock swings here. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously looking constructive from here and bullish overall. So the larger price structure, I've modified this now. These purple waves up, instead of being based on a strict interpretation of my Fibonacci extensions higher, it's based more on these retracements now. So from 214 to 1,183, I'm looking forward to test the halfway point, 503.45, come back to get support of the 382, go up to the 786 at $820, get support back here at the 618, so then it can go to the 100% level at 1183. And of course, these things, they last just a moment, right? They're there briefly, and then they just spend a lot of time down here again. But anyway, so here's my case for Tesla going to over 1,000, explained in these Fibonacci ratios, which I'll talk about the theory again more greater detail tonight on the show. But now let's get back to the main show and all the requests. What does my Bitcoin chart look like? I don't know. Let me see. I'm asking myself, what does my Bitcoin chart look like? Bitstamp, Bitcoin, weekly. No, let's look at the 16-hour chart. I really like 16-hour chart and the moving average 75s. And 4 times moving average 75 is the moving average 300. And it really tells me a lot on the 16-hour chart. For some reason, it just works really well. After hopping off the bottom of the moving average 75 here, this is the orange one. The 300 is way down here on the 16-hour chart. Yeah, we kind of oscillated around it, got on top. The body, this candle closed on top of it, ran over, and yeah, Bitcoin looks constructive. I'm just waiting for it to break out over this 1168 and head for the 141 up here at 128,000. And that's not where this cycle goes. I think this cycle will go to 150,000, test back to about 134,000, and then go on to hopefully finish the cycle about 190,000. That's what I would like to see. But that's, that could be a couple of years, at least a year out to get there. More, maybe more. All right, that's it. Oh, XRP does look really tasty. Here's my XRP chart. Once again, I'm just looking for it to make a new higher high, breakout of this previous high at what was it, $3.66. It was $366.62. Yeah, looking constructive. I'm looking for, I don't know, somewhere between $5 and $6 for the next part here. It could spend a significant amount of time around $5.28 once it hits the next peak. Okay. Request. BMNR is a big request because they
20 billion offering.
Well, I think I read that most of these companies, when they talk about the stock, they want votes to increase the number of shares that they could potentially use for dilution, but they're not actually diluting the stock. They just want to have them in case of a hostile takeover attempt. They can suddenly dilute the stock to make it really expensive for anyone to take over it's defensively deployed. And then 2, if they see an opportunity in the crypto market and they want to make a big purchase, then they can dilute the stock to get more crypto when there's a buying opportunity. But then ideally, it's not supposed to dilute the stock that much when the crypto goes back up again. Anyway, don't be freaked out by it. You're going to see these share offerings for a long time. It's just when they do the last share offering and then crypto doesn't go up, that's when the big failure comes. But we're not there yet. BMNR is making this really lovely. Again, these are log scale charts, making this lovely cup. We haven't even gotten the first handle yet. I mean, you could kind of look at it. 24-hour chart. If I go to the 1-hour chart and look in here, it kind of looks like it kind of looks like it's making a cup here. But you have to get real close to see it, right? Here, from here. Something like it wants to go up here. So it's kind of doing that, right? And then and then I've got to back to the 16-hour chart. I mean, eventually, right, this is just like one cup, one handle, and it's got to make a series of these handles to go from here. I love this new way of doing things. Somebody commented they thought my chart looked a lot cleaner now with this instead of like using the modified Elliott wave things. People don't seem to like that, and it was kind of hard to understand. Anyway, I could understand it, but not everyone could. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for next for BMNR. So just hang in there. It's all time. We're down here at $61. $161 is just around the corner, relatively speaking. All right. So just hang in there. As long it's just making higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Okay. Back to you, Matt. I've talked enough.
Yeah, BMNR, it's fine. It's actually green pre-market now, so it's not even that sad of a news. Anyways.
Big Bear AI was that was the one I was going to talk about, but you do one, and then I'll come back with Big Bear.
Yeah, I'll take a look. Can you take a look at MU? Yeah, we'll take a look at MU here. Let's find out. Go to my screen. So here we are, MU. It's on top of the weekly cloud. It's been kind of trying to stabilize on top of it. Did get a little bit of a V bottom towards the indicators below around the $100 mark, but it bounced, right? So let's keep watching that cloud level, maybe around 120. Stabilize on top of it. On top, it can be good. We can even pull up these fibs just to see what they're looking like. And yeah, it's just getting rejected over and over again by the 128.83. So in order to get more bullish, that's what we got to break above the 128. So it is range bound between the 119, 120 up to the 128. And nothing's going to change on this chart until either level breaks. But since it already did kind of like the V bottom, there is a good chance of it just stabilizing in this zone before trying to break that resistance above to head to the 140s and above. Let's take a look at ELF. Eyes, lips, face. Yeah. And ELF, we can see it's inside the cloud now, and it's done the beautiful breakout back test. Looks like it could be completed. And almost got to the 200. I would have preferred if it did touch it, but no, it did not. So 93.52 was that target. Just fell a little bit short last week, but now we're inside the cloud above the 50-week moving average. So 102. I'll be watching that as a potential support zone for the weeks to come. And also the conversion line is still at 113.24 and pre-market is right around there. So can it break above this week? We'll find out. If so, then it can possibly go back to the big resistance above around the 130. So that is our zone that we've been in, right? We've been in a little bit of a zone ever since we broke out massively, and it did do a successful back test. So now it's just time to start slowly breaking resistance levels above. If at any point it starts to close below that 50-week moving average, then it might go back down to the angle again at some point in time, which could be anywhere from the 80s to the 90s, just depending on time. So we'll have to watch that 50-week moving average as kind of like maybe like a momentum indicator if it wants to try to break resistance or not. But ultimately speaking, I see maybe this wedge formation in its future, and that could stay there for some time until it really is ready to break this 130. So I think just range bound for a while until it's able to be free and clear of this resistance. So it's trying to be more bullish, but let's just keep holding that $100 zone as a potential support tracker.
All right, thanks, Matt. I'm back here with Big Bear AI, and they had earnings yesterday, and it was a big earnings miss. So the stock sold off in pre-market here, I guess overnight in pre-market. Why can't I make this full screen here? This one here? Oh, this here right here. You can look down here at the RSI and you can kind of see it was getting kind of hot there around this 618 extension. Here's my wave one. I went from $1.14 to $10.49 and then back to $2.34 as my wave two bottom, wave one, wave two. And then I was looking for, I was struggling trying to make this be the smaller degree wave 3, 1, 2. And then I think it was already in its wave 3. And, now it's obvious, right? It wasn't obvious until this moment that what in fact happened is that this went up to slightly more than 618. And then it came down to, it hasn't quite reached the 232 yet, but that's where I'm thinking it's going to go. So watch for a Big Bear AI to retest probably this 618 right here at 449. This is 455, but I'll bet my bottom dollar 449 is your support for Big Bear AI here because it's the larger degree log scale 618. That's exactly where you want to see price come back to after getting above the 50% level, spending a bunch of time under it, trying to argue for it. It gets all the way to 100%, and then, oh man, this one went all the way. This one's just been oscillating back and forth, right? It's just sort of arguing this whole area. But a clean touch of the 618 here at 449 to get us on up into the past 100% towards 141. Yeah, 141, the 1414 here, 2629. So anyway, yeah, you can see this is interesting. I'll talk about this more in the show tonight too. But when I set up the log scale retracements on the left, and then I do my fib extensions in linear scale on the right, you can kind of see how they kind of reverse Doppler into a particular price zone. And all of these prices are Dopplering into the 141. So I like this for 2629 when it finishes up here. So yeah, Big Bear AI, look for support at 449. And then after that, it should want to head towards this 1618. Let's see, typically the 123.6, I don't know. It really feels like maybe it'll do a slight miss of the 11618 at 1523. So anyway, yeah, from 455 to 1390 is the wave 3 prediction right now. Back to the 764 at 948, and then on to the 2236 up here at 2325. So basically, my 3, 4, and 5 haven't changed. It's just that now this is the wave 1, wave 2 I was looking for. I was trying to needle it out down here, but it just wasn't clear. This is clear as day. So there you go. Big Bear, it's just fine. Just hang on there or buy more. This is a great place to buy at support. Get excited at support. All right. Do you want me to? I'll do another one, Matt, and then I can throw it back to you.
I got
Oh, no, go ahead.
ACH. I got ACHR just ready real quick.
No,
And
go ahead. Go ahead. If you don't mind switching back and forth, you can.
No, not at all. Yeah, so ACHR, these fibs are really what it's been stuck in between for a while. And it's clear as day when you get to see when it broke out into this zone back here, V bottom out of there, and now it's kind of back in that zone. And I pointed this out a few times on this morning show that it broke the cloud in November of 2024. So almost a year later, we still have not touched the cloud. So I think what it's just doing is consolidating still until it maybe gets closer to the cloud. And it can stay in this range for a long time. And this range, technically speaking, is 899 up to 1103. And every time it gets above it, it gets sold off quickly. Every time it gets closer to that 899 or a little bit below, it bounces back. So that's basically the range until further notice, until things have changed. But yeah, this is a very, very, it's a good chart, but it just needs more time, right? It just needs a lot more time until it's ready to break out. I did want to share Hems too real quick just to show everybody that it's still in the same zone as before, right? In between the arcs, 55 down to maybe the 44. Those are the arcs, but we have the 1.272 at 46.64. Also similar situation to Archer Aviation, how it hasn't touched the cloud yet since it broke out. So it might need to do that just one more time, or once, I should say, not one more time because it still hasn't, just once until ready to go higher. So good developments here, but obviously 64.05, big resistance, and still range bound between the 46 and the 64 with getting some liquidity above, getting some liquidity below. So I just expect it to stay in that range until it maybe touches the cloud, consolidates a few more weeks, and then possibly after that can break higher. All right, go back to you, Tracker.
All right, I've got Gevo on here. Some of my followers were very kind to talk about how I basically, I don't come up with these ideas. You guys come up with these ideas. You ask me, is this a good chart or not? Can you chart this? And when I see one I get excited about it, then I talk about it. And Gevo was one of those charts. For the over long term, it's a terrible looking chart, kind of. Like this is Gevo. It's like a check mark in reverse going down. But what happened is that it did start to make, through the bottom, ran up, put in another bottom, and it just looks like it's at least doing some recovery action, right? So back to my 16-hour chart here. Oops. I was looking for an ABC retrace. I kind of did it on linear scale, just like a retracement 382, 236, 618, right? And then here it is on log scale, the same projections. And we haven't even done the ABC part yet. But I do have this linear scale Fibonacci extensions on the right here. And I was predicting that it would go to at least the 382 and then back to the 236. And, look, that's exactly what it did. It ran up overnight to the 382, and now we're back almost to the 2. Actually, it looks like it did bounce off of it. Let me get real close here. So it ran up to just past the 382, and then it came right down to the 236. So there you go. Now we're just kind of oscillating in between the two. But 167 really should be the support now. And for Gevo, going back to the 16-hour chart, it should get to at least the 123.6 next. If I'm wrong, it just means it puts in a new higher high and then a higher low. Like you could do the 764 and then the 382 or the 618 and the 236. But for now, 382, 236, it could, I've seen these stocks just tear up and never do another correction until it hits the 123.6 here at 489 is the next target here. And with the support back at the 764 for 337, and then tops out at the 2236 at $8.11. And then if it did do just the ABC correction, then that's the brown figures where it goes up to 980, and that takes it back to the linear scale 618. Log scale, it takes it. Oh, these aren't log scale fibs. Hang on, sorry, 1 second. Fix this. This is one of my older charts. Yeah, that takes it to like the 886 or something. So yeah, Gevo. What everyone's excited about is barely a blip on the log scale chart. So more to come if Gevo can hold 167, $1.67 as support. Lots more upside to come. In fact, how much upside? Let's take a look here. From where price is right now to the 123.6, that's 168% higher. All right, back to you, Matt, and then I'll pull up something else, like ACH on maybe.
All right, yeah. Let's take a look here. What else do I got? Oh, grab.
Oh, grabbing some grab.
Yes, I've taken a few grabs in my life. And grab, we can see it is right at the 382 underneath, still above the cloud, still in the same range as it has been before. It tried to break out, but it did not. So it's doing another back test. If we're looking for a potential support, it's in this support zone right now, right? It's basically the 490 down to the 450s. That is the support zone, and it has potential to continue to stabilize until it wants to break out. And after some time, it should gravitate towards the $637 zone above. Nothing too scary about that one. Yeah, let's look at Coinbase and MSTR pre-market. So Coinbase, all I care about staying above is the 886. Don't care about the volatility yesterday to the 330s to the 319s. I don't care about that. I just want to see stability above 318.95. So far, we are getting that. If so, can build a base, continue the journey higher. Very nice chart. MSTR also looks like it's trying to break this conversion line. Still unsuccessful. I think the reason is Ethereum is all the rage right now with all these offerings. It's going to be boosting Ethereum price. So if we're going to be excited about one thing right now, I think that's ETH. And we can see ETH is really looking like it did not want to go back and backtest that 4,000, which is fine. It can continue to go to the 4,800 and all-time highs. And yeah, that 20 billion offering for BM&R could be going into Ethereum over time. Probably not all at once, but over time,
Not
and
all.
people are front running that move. Which, yeah, that's why MSTR is not really doing much, because Bitcoin is not really doing much, because all the focus now is on Ethereum and Ethereum related stuff. Like even Chainlink is doing pretty well, up 5% in relation to that as well. So that's a good development there. But lastly, I'll do Galaxy right here, GLXY. And Galaxy, we can see 2777 is holding that support. And that's going to be the main focus for me, right? Stay above it. It goes to 38. It can go even to the fib extensions above in the 80s as well. So this is a very, very bullish chart over time. But to get there, just keep stabilizing on top of that 2777 tracker.
All right, ACHR is another stock that had, did they have earnings or what was it, the catalyst? Yes, earnings and with a quarterly loss, and then so price falls back down. It did make a new, like a slight, it's still a higher a higher low than my wave one, wave two, but now I have to take, well, this is just a subset anyway. Let me just get rid of my subset here for a second. And I just have to extend this wave two, not that, this one right here. This is now the wave two bottom. And so this one did a 764,236. That's kind of evil. And you can see it's already shuffling to get back to the 382 here in pre-market. 955 should be where it really wants to get back to support and then move higher from. I don't think this is going to, I mean, who knows, right? It could go back and retest 797 in the over the next week, but ideally it just stays over. You can see it's only wicks below this 50% Fibonacci retracement level, and the candle body so far is above that on the 16-hour chart. So yeah, it's still bullish, obviously, because from this low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high is expected next. My wave three top is from 764 to 236. I'm going to still stick with the 1382, but the previous all-time high was 1860. Maybe I should moderate this. Watch for 1882 as the next price resistance, which would then mean instead of the 100% for support, let me just delete this. It comes back to the 764 for support now. So look for 1882 back to 1370 for Archer, And then it's not, instead of the 2382, it tops out at the 2236 at 2967. Just get rid of that. And I don't need this anymore or that. I'm trying to simplify my charts and that too. There you go. This is my little indicator I showed you yesterday. I've added something to it. Now it actually tells you what the labels mean. This is the all-time high, 1860, all-time low, $1.60. Here's the 52-week high and the 52-week low. And then the person who created this original thing wanted a 25% lower than the 52-week high and a 30% higher than the 52-week low. I guess they expected it to like bounce between the two. I don't know. It's not bad. I'm keeping it for now just to see what utility it has. There you go. ACHR. I'm not bearish on it at all. I'm bullish. And you can see again. This could be a candidate for Palantiring right here. Right, cup, many handles, and then after the last one, it goes to a new all-time high with price exploration. Well, here it's like the 141's here, 1618 is 2647. Wait. These aren't. Oh, these aren't on the rate. Hang on. Sorry, this is set up from something else a long time ago. I'm gonna throw it back to you, Matt, just after I correct this and show off from the all-time low 160. I'll just put it on 162. Come on, mouse, work with me. It's an optical mouse on a TV dinner, plastic TV dinner tray. All-time high is 1860. Belong here. So yeah, basically, yeah, the 141's up here at 5136. So that's where. Oh, look, I almost got it right. Yeah, this is where this is targeting. You get the idea. A Palantiring candidate, if I ever saw one. All right, back to you, Matt.
Yeah. All right. I'll do a couple of crypto before. I think that'll be it for today until our show tonight. And a lot of requests for BBAI. I don't know if they were here when you did that already. So you guys can just reverse that and go back and watch the BBAI. But I'll just finish off with some crypto here. And I do see Link, and I didn't mention it. So let's just talk about it. So yeah, it broke out of the 618. It even back tested the 618 yesterday. Can't get more bullish than that. Breakout back test on top of the cloud, on top of the 618. Love it. Next targets are going to be 2585, 786 above. So it's slowly but surely getting more bullish. And it's like trying to catch up to ETH, I think. I think it sees what Ethereum is doing, so it's getting a little bit jealous. So let's just keep holding that 2111. It can go higher. Let's take a look at H-bar as well. We can see that H-bar is also trying to find stability on top of the 702. Another beautiful chart, right? Huge breakout from everything. This happened a few weeks ago, like over a month ago. There was like a nice 51% candle, and now we've been building a base at a higher level. Let's just keep watching this 25-cent zone in order to get to the 32 and go back towards all-time highs. And yeah, H-bar, Ethereum, Link, they all look fantastic for that potential to continue higher. And I think the last one I'll do is just take a look at XRP. I don't think anybody asked for it, but I'm still watching.
I want to see XRP.
I'm still watching this fib that I've been showing, the 2.272, the 309986. And if you guys remember from a while ago, I've been talking about this 2013 high, 2014 low. And it's just a very cool fib to see because it was the 2018 top, and it never closed any kind of weekly candle above it until recently. And now we're actually trying to establish some kind of a base on top of there. So this is extremely bullish for continuation, and stay above it. It's going to go higher. So Tracker, finish off the show for us. Thank you.
Woohoo! All right. I'm going to do game, and then I'm going to do IPA. So here is my game chart. And this is the whole lifetime history. There's the dinosaur. Here's its all-time high, $53.60. The all-time low is hidden behind here. It's the same as the 52-week low. That's why. So it's 50 cents. And I just want to show you this. If I hit Control-Alt-H on my trading view, I can hide all my drawings. Not the indicators, just the drawings. And you kind of see what I'm getting at. Now, if I toggle this on and off, it's also making kind of it's forming a cup, right? So this Fibonacci extension that I've got on the right here in, why does this look like it's log scale? Sorry. I'm always playing with stuff, and I forget to put my toys away when I'm done with them. All right, so you can see again, it's the linear scale fib extensions are Dopplering into just above the 50% level, the halfway point, and you can see it was a significant high up here at $9.41, and that's kind of what it's trying to kind of get back to, or the support before it ran up there was right here at about $7. So it's trying to get to $7. It did this weird spike in the middle where it runs up, it spikes up, and then drops back down. The good news is it wasn't a complete blow off top. A blow off top makes sort of a recovery spike and then a new lower low. Well, that hasn't happened with games, so that's very bullish. So anyway, yeah, from this extension, from this higher high and this higher low, I've got these linear fib extensions indicating it wants to go to retest 544 next. These are just my levels, how it would be getting back there. And you can see also, let me see, let me turn this off again. Oh, no. Yeah. So you can see price is back above the moving average 75. It was moving average 75 is this one right here, this orange line. It was the resistance all the way down until here. It's kind of flipping into support, which means it's going to traverse its way back up towards that halfway point at 544 and probably meet the moving average 300 right at that 50% level, 544. So as you see this get closer to 544, that's when you know price is going to get closer to it too, or at least that's the way I look at it. So that might be, I don't know, that might be the end of the year. Just kind of basing off of this generally. But obviously the higher it goes, the faster this comes. Is that true? No, the higher this goes, the slower this moves. Anyway, that's where I'm looking for the meat. This is a weekly chart. Okay, I'll just go to IPA now. Oops, that says not IPA. Immunoprecise Antibodies Incorporated, and once again, this is an older chart. This is not log scale. Now it's log scale. Here's my retracement from the all-time high to the all-time low, which is also the 52-week low, 27 cents, 0 to 100, and it's trying to make a cup, right? It's already kind of made a cup. Once again, here, if I turn off the drawing, Control-Alt-H, you can see it's kind of made a cup. It just needs a little more handle, then some more handle. I don't know if it will drop a lot lower again. There's always the potential. See, it's halfway between the moving average 300 and the 75. There's always the potential for it to come back to the 75 before going up higher again if it can't make a new higher high. But like maybe it'll just touch this weekly Ichimoku baseline one more time at $1.33 to make another handle and then reach up to the moving average 300, which is up here at $4.16 right now. Anyway, my Fibonacci. Let's see. These look like retracements too, though. These are retracements. I'm sorry, I don't have an extension for this yet. Or I should have had one, and I just don't have one yet. Sorry. It kind of looks like it would. I could do it real quick. All I have to do is 3 points. 1, 2, 3. It's sort of Dopplering into this halfway point again, $3. So the 50% level is at $3. It just really wants to get to $3. And after that, it'll probably come down to the 382 at $1.70 before it can go higher to the 764 at $10.70. Actually, probably the 70.71, closer to $8.86. So anyway, bullish on immunoprecise antibodies, especially as long as it is still higher than $1.06. All right, that's it. We'll come back tonight. Matt, any final thoughts before the show tonight?
No, just the way IWM is performing, it's doing well. I think we're on a very good risk-on environment, but still has not broken out yet. So there's not too much excitement for me until it breaks out. So.
Yeah, I think yesterday we had a weekend that got everyone feeling bullish about crypto, and then we opened with the pre-market was all green yesterday, and it sold off. It sold off yesterday, and now the pre-market looks a little red, so maybe it'll go up.
Yeah, we'll find out.
We'll find out. You'll all see that, and then we'll see it tonight at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time for the Triumvirate meets again. Rides again. Yeah. I think the theme tonight is Category 10. or just actually it's just Cat 10, a storm of Palantiring stocks.
That's right. All right, guys. We'll see you tonight. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.